In the last video, we built our home base, but we did it on what I would call hard mode, which was going into Notion, pointing and clicking in every place. And also, I didn't give the Notion expert in TypingMind the product requirements document in advance. We were working from it, but I was reading it and feeding it to him spoon-fed. So this time we're going to do two things. One, we're going to give him the product requirements document up front. We're going to still tell him we're going to work through this step by step, but here's an idea of where we're going so he can keep track of that in the background. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to build all of our databases through CSV upload, which means we'll be able to go into Excel or Sheets, and we'll have the Notion expert do this for us as well. He can build CSVs that we can download and then upload right into Notion. That will take care of all of the property types of column. Is it going to be a multi-pick, or is it going to be a single pick? Is it going to be a text-based? So we can build all those databases as tables first, and then we'll convert them to databases, and then we'll go to another page and build our views. So this should go much faster. I know the last video was over 2 hours, and that was a lot. I would recommend you watch maybe the first half hour of that video though, because it does explain our setup here of having TypingMind on the right side of the screen, 1/3, and Notion on the left side, which is 2/3. And that's generally how we'll want to work going forward with our AI expert, whether it's TypingMind or just ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever your favorite AI is on the right side, and what you're working on the left side. That way your AI is always available to help you work through the step by step. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Peyton the product review documents. First, I'm going to click the ready to go button. It's not really necessary, but I kind of like doing it. And it will pop up here how much we've spent, and if not, then we'll go ahead and fix that, so we can kind of keep track of how much we're actually spending with the API. Okay, so you also know if we're on desktop or web. And okay, so we are on the web. I have a product requirements document prepared, which I would like for you to review up front. Do not start with building just yet. We want to build this in a very specific way. Let me know when you have reviewed the PRD and are ready. Okay, and I'm going to drop that. It's just a text file over, and I will link this text file down at the bottom in the description of the video. Okay, we had trouble with this last time too. It does not seem to like the text file. So actually, if I come up here and I do edit in the text file, I can delete it there, put it here, and it should give me an option. Maybe it's not going to. Let's try it again. Okay, so it does not like that attachment for whatever reason. That's not what I wanted to do. Chat. Let's get back to here. Okay. So I'm going to edit this and say, we'll take this out. A text document should not be causing us problems, but for whatever reason, this text document is. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I have it here. I'm just going to copy it and paste it. Where on the web, I have a PRD prepared, which I would like for you to review up front. Don't start building just yet. We want to build this in a very specific way. Let me know when you are ready. PRD is below. All right, so we'll just paste it in that way. and we want to regenerate. Okay, you can see this. And like I said, I will link this below in the description of the video. Okay, and you can see that it's now tracking our estimated spend. Clear and achievable, 4 core databases, projects, tasks, ideas, prompts, a home base with 5 linked views, a standalone inbox page, plus seed, data, and pre-flight checks. Before we start, a few crisp confirmations. So one of the things I learned, and I'm going to do this real quick. If you, in TypingMind, if you come here and click that little / in a box, you can do output settings. You can change your output format to step by step. And you can also do tone and language, which those are fine. I'm good with that. And writing style. I'm fine with that. And click done. And we should get a little bit more. It should give us a little bit less, him thinking way far ahead of us than where we really are. But let's see what he says here. So learning log, you asked for 3 learning log entries. Okay, that's just seeding some data, prompts, rating type. You specified rating 1 through 5. Want to sort by ascending. Do you want to keep select option? Okay, so let's handle all of those as we proceed. So I'm sort of dismissing his questions, which is fine. I would like to talk about how I want to go about building this. I would like you to prepare a down CSV for each of the databases. We will want to have all of the drop downs and we can do that by adding the options in the sample rows of the CSV. Does that make sense? Don't do anything just yet. Let's make sure we are on the same page. Your approach makes perfect sense. Notion will create the drop down, select multi from whatever values appear in the CSV once we convert these columns. To select multi-select after import, we'll seed every option at least once in the sample rows, so the options are ready immediately after import. We'll seed every option at least once in the sample rows, so the options are ready immediately after import. Key constraint to note: relations can't be established via CSV alone. We'll import projects and tasks separately, then create a relation property and tasks, and bulk link by pasting the project name text column into the relation column. Notion will match page by page title. Yes, so that's perfect sense. So all we're doing is the fast way to building the databases, not having to go through and pick every single property and click by click inside Notion. So databases to cover via CSV, projects, tasks, ideas, prompts, optional learning log, CSV design per database, headers match PRD property names exactly, title case. Each multi-select column will have rows that include every option of at least once to pre-fill dropdowns. And that's a bit of a hack. So when you do a CSV upload and you do like a multi-select, there's not technically a way to have Notion build that multi-select with your options in it. But what happens is if you put rows of data in with your options, and we'll see this in a minute, then it sort of naturally builds it, even though it's not supposed to. So it's a bit of a nuance, it's a bit of a hack, but it is very efficient. Assuming you've planned everything out in advance, which that is a key requirement of going this direction. Import and convert workflow you'll follow. So we'll import the projects, import the tasks, import the ideas, import the prompts. After the imports, we'll build the Homebase page, do quick pre-flight checks to make sure everything looks good. And okay, so that all looks good. And notice he's still suggesting things that I'm sort of ignoring, and that's fine. You're in control here, not him. He's built to make you happy, and he thinks he's making you happy by giving you more suggestions. So there's nothing critical at this point. Now, that doesn't mean that further down the road we won't want to pay attention to what he's saying. We will, but then we'll also make a judgment at that point. Is that something we want to deal with now, or do we have something else more immediate that we think we need to deal with? So I want to try, let's start with one of the CSV downloads and make sure we have our ducks in a row. Let's start with, I think I want to start with projects. Okay, so now I do have some plugins activated here. I have images through Grok, I have web search, I have to-do list, which I haven't figured out what that is just yet. Extract a web page, read a web page through Firecrawl, render HTML, which is what it just did, JavaScript interpreter, DALL-E 3, web search is in here twice, not sure why that's happening, GPT image editor, simple calculator, render chart, image search, I don't have Zapier turned on, interactive canvas, and perplexity search. Now, what we may find here in a minute is that it has access to too much stuff, and we might have to bring that back in a second. So he rendered HTML, and that's not what we were looking for. We were actually looking for a downloadable CSV. So let's follow the path and just see what we have. So this says always show interactive content from this plugin without asking. Definitely do not want to do that. We'll preview the content. See if that, all right, I guess this is the preview. So if I click code, all right, so that's a bunch of JavaScript. This is copy, and I can open it into a new window. So here's the preview. Let's show the content. So, all right, so it's using this to do the CSV. So we'll try it. This is not necessarily the way I thought it would have gone, but okay. But let's download the CSV and just see what it looks like. Okay, that does not appear to actually be downloading. Let me open this up. Okay, that did download. So project CSV. All right, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to go to my Excel. Let me open this up. And let's see what we have here. So we have a name, status, outcome, due date, area, notes. So let's go back to our product requirement document real quick. And I'll bring this over here so you can see it. And our projects database was, okay, so I'm up at the bottom. Let's see. I'm gonna go home. Okay, so projects, the fields, let me bring this over a little bit. So we have name, status, outcome, due date, area, and notes. We wanted this to be a title. We wanted this to be a select with not started, in progress, on hold, and done. Outcome text, okay, and it kind of filled in some text there. That's fine. Due date is a date. Area, select, work, personal learning, notes, text. Okay, so that's perfect. That followed exactly what we wanted. If you were doing this without data, you could make just this your CSV and it would build the table for you. It wouldn't have the data in it. Because we put in these as options for status, it's going to give us those, and it's going to see, okay, this looks like a select, and we're going to have to map all that out. And it will drop those in for us. So you won't have to go in and create these individually, which is a huge time saver. So So this looks good. So we're going to try to import this as it is. Okay, we're going to not save it because we already have it. So he says, great, here's the project CSV ready for you to download above. Quick checklist, this file satisfies. Okay, so he's verifying that we've got all the things we wanted. Next steps, pause after step 2, tell me download. So click download project CSV above, we did that. Verify the preview matches what you expect, we did that. When you're ready, I'll walk through the exact import and property conversion steps in Notion. Good. Okay. Okay, so step 1. So we haven't actually started our workspace here yet. So, and he hasn't told us to, and that's fine. No worries there. So we are going to need a new page. So in our Notion, we're going to create a new page, and that'll be a new main page that shows up at the top level of the sidebar here. So we're going to just create a new one, and we're going to call it Homebase, and we're doing this on 8/24/25. That way we can see it, because I've done several of these home bases already, including on the 2-hour video, and the video I didn't do a video of when I did this to map it all out, but we do want to keep them all straight. So this will be very clear that this is our home base that we're working on today. So now we've got that page. That's our kind of base page. The other thing it didn't tell us to do was we're going to want another page inside of this page. And to do that, we can just do // page. And I've now come to like calling these. So this page is going to house all your databases. So I like to now call this the database control tower. And you'll see as we go why that's the case. Okay. So import project CSV is a full page database. In the left sidebar. Okay, so he might have some other ideas. So maybe I should not skip ahead so far just yet. In the left sidebar, click import. And I would actually just do this way. Import CSV. Notion will create a new page with a table. All right, let's try his method. So we want to choose a file. And it's going to be in my downloads. Here's the projects. Okay, so we've picked the file. We want to import in, we want to create a new database, and we're going to map the CSV headers. Okay, so this is saying, okay, so these are our names. Okay, status, outcome, due date, area, notes. Yes, okay. So we do need to map it by property type or check it. So it double checks, it did some of this already. We're just going to double check it. All right, so we want name to be a title. We want status to be a select. Okay, and notice when I changed it to select, it brought all those in, and it automatically made them options in the dropdown. And we'll see that when we actually bring this fully in. I can do this over here. Okay, so I keep losing this here. Okay, outcome is going to be text. Due date is going to be date, and it's full date, so that's good. We do want to make sure it's not bringing in like the day. Okay, let's make that a different type of date. We're just going to make this a month, day, year. Okay. And that way it'll be shorter. Area is going to be a select, and watch what happens when we do this. So right now it's just text. When I change this to select, all of a sudden it made that color coded, which means that it's going to be part of the dropdown. And notes is going to be text. Okay, so now we've got our CSV columns. We've got our early data, which helped us do the rest of the fill in terms of the select. We've mapped all of these. We've used our top row as our header. Now we're ready to import the CSV. And let's see, is this what he's saying? So Set property types, open the project's database table view, confirm columns exist, name, status, outcome, due date, area, notes. For status, click the status column header, property type select. You should see options, auto created, not started, in progress, on hold, done. We see that. Oh, we see that over here. For outcome and notes text, no change needed. For due date, property type date, okay. Create the required views. Okay, so now we're going to, he didn't say actually click the import button, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and import it. All right, so now we have our projects database, perfect. And when I click the select, so if I add a new row here, all right, so there's my options. There's my options already filled in for me. And that's simply because we added this additional data. This data doesn't have to mean anything, but it's just a way to make things more efficient for us to upload everything. We'll go ahead and leave the data in there because why not? We're going to try and use some of this down the road, not the specific data, but by having data in there, that will help us once we start mapping and building and connecting. So that's projects done. And if we notice, so we have the page I added, which will come into play in a minute, and we have projects. Okay. So we did step number 1. We imported, we set the property types, create new views. So board by status, all right, so we're going to come in here, board by status, click add a view, top left of the database, and we want a board. Okay, so that's up here, and we're going to do board, name it board by status, board by status, group by status. Okay, that's good. Group by status. It usually automatically does that. Optional in the menu on the view, properties, hide notes for a cleaner board. Okay, so if we want to hide something, we can come back here out of the group, come back here. If I go over here, so what did that say? On the menu, optional in the menu on the view properties, hide notes for a cleaner board. Okay, so I think that's, oh, notes. Okay, so I click in here to notes, so that's going to filter notes. Settings, layout, nope. Not sure exactly where he's talking about here. Edit properties, notes. Oh, property visibility. This is it. Okay. So right now we're showing all. So if I want to hide notes, I can just click show in board. So I want to show everything but the notes. So I want to show area, due date, outcome, and status. Okay. So that's giving us a complete card for every one of those rows without the notes. Because if I add the notes in, where was that? That was edit. Where was I at? Oh, property visibility. If I add the notes in, then depending on those notes, it could get really messy. So, okay. So we've hidden that on the board. So that was our optional. All right. So now we have show all, which is everything, and a board by status. So this is a Kanban board. Okay. And we can scroll right to see that. Board by status. So now we're going to build an in progress table. So I'll come up here, add a view. It's going to be a table, and we're going to name it in progress. Okay. Done. Okay, let's click into that. We're going to filter. I want to make sure that we are in that. Okay, yes. Okay. We're going to add a filter, which is status is in progress. Status is in progress. Okay. Add a sort date. So this is sort, and we're going to do it by due date. And we want ascending. Okay. In properties, show name, due date, area, hide outcome notes if you like. So if we wanted to hide some of this other stuff, we could. I'm happy with showing that, including the notes. So, okay, so that's our in progress table. So now these are, so we have a database, And from that database, we can slice and dice many views without actually changing the data in the database itself. Okay, quick validation. Board by status shows columns for not started. Board by status shows columns for not started, in progress, on hold, done, at least one card in several columns. Progress view shows that. Okay. Reply when steps 1 through 4 are complete. Okay. So now I think I'm right. I think we're good, but I want him to check it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back here to my views, and it'll be easier if I take it out of the Chrome kind of squish. I'm going to do a screen grab, and I'll grab all of the different pieces of Notion for the first one at least. Okay, I'm going to come back in here to TypingMind and say, let's review each. Here is my show all view. Okay. And while he's working on that, I'm going to do my board by status. And I will not grab all of it this time, just the parts that are a little different. So I'm ready to go when he's ready to go. Great, thanks for the screenshot. From what I can see, your show all matches the PRD. Columns, sample rows look correct. Status, okay, let's validate. Okay, property types, board by status view. Okay, so here is my board by status view. Check me. Okay, we'll drop in that screen grab. Looks good. Correctly grouped by status. Few tidy ups to match. Do these 3 mini steps and then reply done. Reorder the columns. Yes, that makes sense. Hide no status. That makes sense. And card properties optional cleaner. All right, so let's do that quick cleanup, and I will bring this back up here to the right thirds, and we will get Notion. We have a lot of stuff up here. Where is Notion? Not sure which one is Notion. Here we go. Board by status. Okay. All right. So he says, let's reorder the column, drag the column. So not started should be first. So we're just going to pick it up and move it over here. Okay. In progress. Slide that over here. Done. Hide no status. In progress. Oops. So not started, in progress, on hold, and done. Okay. And we're going to hide this one. So we'll come up here, and maybe we'll come here. Hide group. Yes. Okay. Perfect. All right. So now we just have not started, in progress, on hold, and done in the proper order. Hide no status. We did that. And card properties, optional but cleaner. Right click top right. Click top right properties. Show due date area if you prefer a compact card. Okay. Optional but cleaner. Click top right properties. Edit groups. No, that's not what we want. What does he say here? Is it because we don't have it in full view? Nope. Nope. Show due date, area, hide, notes, and outcome if you prefer a compact card. Okay, so maybe it's here. Okay. There or here. Edit. Nope. Okay. Hide notes. Nope. Nope. New page. Okay. Hide group. Nope. That's not what we wanted. So we'll Control Z that. Hide aggregation. Nope. Control Z that. Edit groups. Here we go. So I want to show, I don't want to hide all. He's saying hide notes. Oh, but that's about to not start it. I want to do this here. Edit property. Property visibility. Okay. Okay, got it. So for card properties, optional but cleaner, we'll come up here, we'll come to property visibility and show due date, area, hide outcome. And that gives us a more compact card. Okay, I can live with that. Okay, great. So that is our projects database done. Okay, that still went a little slow, but we'll move faster as we go. Okay, so great, that worked well. Let's do the next database, CSV. Okay, is rendering the HTML. Next time I'll turn the HTML off and we'll see how it produces it. This worked fine, so all good. We'll show the content, download the tasks, and it doesn't seem to like to do it there, but it definitely does it here, which is great. Okay, so here's our tasks CSV, and we'll just double check that. I'm sure that was his instruction as well, was to check it. So tasks, so our fields are name, status, due date, priority, project name, and optional effort. Okay, so we added that. That's nice. Okay, so we're good here. The CSV says it's got everything we want in it, and we're not going to save it. Let's come down here and see what he's saying, and we'll close that out. When you've saved it, follow these steps in Notion. Okay, so we're just doing the same thing. Import is a full page database, so we're just going to do import CSV, choose our file. It's going to be the tasks. We're going to map the CSV header, the columns to the property type. We'll go back to our PRD for that. All right, and we're down here, so tasks. So name is title, and you can only have one title. So if I try to pick title again, oh, all right, well, never mind. Smack. Okay, so CSV columns, property type. This is our tasks database, so this is going to be name is title, status is going to be a select, and we're going to watch that magic again. Awesome, although it did make them all gray. Good enough. Due date is date, and I do like that month, day, year better. It's a little more compact. Project is going to be a relation. It will not let us do that just yet, I don't believe. No. So we'll leave that as a text, and we will work on our relations at the end once we have all the databases in place. Optional effort, and that's going to be a select, and that's already a select. Okay, so priority we said was going to be a select. Effort is going to be a select as well. Okay, so excellent. We're ready to import that CSV. Okay, so now let's go into this, and that is looking good. Got a lot of data in it, and that's great. All our boxes are here, so once again, if I try to select, I've got my options are already built in. So if I did this and this data was just totally junk, then all you have to do is just come in here and select them all. Don't select the header. But yeah, this is select all. It doesn't pick the header, but when you kill all this data that you did as the import, what will stay is these options. So you built those without having to go through and type each one in. So I think that's super handy. All right, but we're going to leave all that data, so that's good. Now let's see what he told us to do. Okay, import CSV tasks, CSV rename to tasks. It's already good. So status, yes, property select. So those are all selects. So we have 3 selects: status, proper, priority, and effort. We have a date, and that date really is not kind of the date I was looking for, but we can change the date format here. Month, day, year. Okay. I'll want to do that in the other one as well, because see how much more compact that is. I can resize that column a little bit. Okay, that was distract. Due date, project name, text, leave that for now because that's going to eventually be a relation linking this database to another database. Create the relation to projects. Okay, so add a new property relation. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start connecting those now. So we're not going to do any more views, I guess, with the tasks. Okay, that'll come next. All right, so first, so we're going to create a relation to projects. So we have, at this point, a projects and a tasks, and makes sense that those go together. We are going to connect the 2 of them together through a relation. So we are going to do that by add a new property, project relation, select the database, select the project database. Okay, so we're going to come here, we're going to, in the tasks table, copy the entire project name column. Can I just switch this? Edit property. I guess not. Change type to a relation. Okay, this is what I want, because I want not the priority, but I want the project name to be a relation. And we're going off script a little bit from what he told us to do, but that's fine. If you know the software, then you can do that. Just if you get jammed up, you have to tell him, hey, I did this instead. Switch that to relation. We want it related to projects. We want a 2-way relation for our relation between tasks and projects. We want 2-way, correct? You just gotta say yes, but just to verify. Yes, 2-way is what we want. Okay, add the relation. Okay, and close out of that. Oh, I see what happened there. So when we switched, it cleared out the data. So that's why he was saying to do it this way. Okay, so let's Control Z that, and we will do the way he said. So we're going to add a property. We're going to call it a relation. We're going to match it to the projects database. We're going to make it a 2-way. Add that relation. Now we're going to copy these over. Oh, so we're just going to do this. Okay. Reboot Python. Oh, can I copy these? Will it let me just copy them? No, it will not. Okay. Boot. Simple. Reboot. AI. Team. And reboot. Okay. So now we have our projects actually linked over. So now if I just click one of these, it will take me into the card, which is okay. So now these are all linked. And what do you say? So add a new property, project relation. All right, we will relation, select the projects database, in the tasks table, copy the entire project, paste in the new Notion will automatically match by page title. Okay, kind of didn't do that, but that's fine. Create the required views. So now we probably can kill this column. Let's go to let's finish his instructions, but I think we probably can kill this column at some point. Okay. So now we're going to do views. So now we've linked those back and forth. And I believe if I go to the projects, I will now have, yes. So see, it matched the tasks automatically. It put in this column and everything that was related to Reboot Python Basics. So there's a bunch here. 3, 4. So now I can see that there's a whole bunch of tasks related to this project because they're linked back and forth. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. If I come back here to the tasks, I should have 4 in my reboot. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we only had to do it in one database. It made that relation and did the next step in the other table as well. And much better for the computer to do that than for us to go get a mismatch here somewhere. So that's awesome. All right, now we're going to do our views. And so number 4, create the required views. Board by status. All right, so we're going to do a new board, and we're going to call that board by status. And we're going to group it by status, which it already is. Okay, done. Okay, so this board should look familiar. Let's do our properties up here on our property visibility. So we want due date, we want effort, we want priority, project name status. Actually, let's not jump ahead. Okay, so we made our board by status with this layout grouped by status. Okay, so that was the top one. So then he didn't have us do anything more with it, but you can see there's more tasks than there were in projects, which makes sense. Okay, and then we're going to come up here. We're going to do another view. We're going to call this one today, and we're going to make that a table. Call that today. And filter by status. Okay, so then our filters, we want to filter by status. Is doing or due date is on or before today. Okay, so that's going to be an advanced filter. Status is doing or, okay, add a filter rule or status or the due date. That'll be an end date on or before today. Okay. So status is doing or due date is on or before today. And then we're going to add another. Okay, I'm going to remove that. I'm going to turn this into a group, I think. Yes, okay, so we made that a group. So that's putting those together. And then add a filter, status is not done. Status is not done. Okay. Believe that's where we got into trouble before. Let's have him check that while we're here. Can you check my filters to make sure I have them correct? Except this should be an and. I believe. Great question. Thanks for the screenshot. Your filter is close, but it's using or for status is not done, which makes the logic too loose. Goal logic per PRD. Status is doing or due date is on or before today, and status is not done. Fix it step by step. Rebuild the filter as a group. Okay, so we're going to delete the filter. All right, so we're going to start over again. Check. Click filter. Add filter group. All right, so we're going to filter by, okay, advanced. All right, so we have to turn it into a group later. Okay, so we want status doing, turn into a group. Okay. Add filter rule, or due date, end date is on or before today. Okay. Then we add another rule here, and perfect. And status is not. Okay. That looks correct. So it's actually two rules. This group counts as one. And we'll take a screenshot of that. We struggled hard with that in the last video. Here's my update. Nice, your grouping is correct now, or one small fix. In the due date rule, click end date, switch to date. Okay, so this is a place where he doesn't realize that that is not an option. So we can send him this picture and just say selecting date only is not an option. So went for end date. Drop that picture in. Okay, so he's able to read these pictures. So this is sort of his eyes because he can't see what's happening on the screen, but he can read a picture and he can see the difference between last time and this time. You're seeing start date because the due date property allows date changes. Your CSV rows only populated the start date. So filtering on end date will miss most tasks. Okay. So we need to make a change then. In the today view filter, change end date to start date. Okay. Click the end date. Okay. Is on or before today. Keep the rest as is. Okay, that's good enough. I'm happy with that. All right, so one of the things too, so now you see we kind of got lost because we had to go off in a direction and get some questions answered, but now we lost kind of we were in step 3 of 4-ish, and now we have to kind of scroll back and find that. So one of the things we can do is we can actually pin something, and that way when I'm coming back, I know where I'm trying to get to. And then once I'm good with this, then I can just unpin it and we're good. Okay. So I should have pinned it earlier, but did not. So, okay. Create relations, reciprocal. Oh, actually, this is the one I wanted to pin. Okay. And you can pin multiples, but I don't want to have this one pinned. So, okay. So we imported that, we did our relations, we created the board status view, we've now created the filter. We want to add a sort. Due date is ascending. Oh, here we go. Due date's ascending. Show properties, name, due date, priority, and project. Okay, so then up here, we're going to do property visibility. I'm going to do hide all, and then you can't hide the name. All right, so, but I want name, I want due date, I want priority and project. And by project, I want the relation. Okay. So this is what's due today. Today is the 24th. That makes sense. So this is great. All right, so that's our today view. Now we're going to do a this week. And our this week is going to have another one of those filters. So I can just come here and duplicate this. Okay, and we're going to call it week. This week. All right, and it did not. It did, yeah, okay. So you can get these to hide if you just click them again. So the tool rules, so the due date will be, once again, is within 1 week. Okay, so we're going to change that. Sort due date ascending. Okay. So then in our filter here, we're going to due date is within due date, start date, relative to date, week. Okay. So we don't exactly have the options he gave us. Filter due date is within 1 week. So that's not really the options we were given. Okay, I do not have a is within. Okay. Okay, so he says, good catch, your UI is relative to today instead of is within. That's fine. You're okay with a calendar week view, configure it like this, or group. Status is doing, due date, start date is relative to today, this week. Perfect. Optional for date ranges, due date, end date. Okay. That's fine. Outside status is not done. Okay. So we're good with that one. So that's our, so this is what we have to do today. This is this week, and our today's install VS Code and practice Python list exercises are both on there. Perfect. For, why does that have a due date of a different due date? Okay, so we have one on here that's not for today. So let's ask about that. Just noticed that on our today view, we have one that is due tomorrow. How do we fix? Okay, send him the screenshot of that. And screenshots do run up your token use. So, yeah, that's a consideration, but even still, we're at 40 cents so far. So not a big deal. Also, if you notice up here, there's a pen. So instead of me scrolling back up, I can just hit that pen next when I'm ready to go back to that. Okay, you're seeing due date tomorrow because your today filter intentionally includes status is doing. That matches the PRD, but if you don't want tomorrow's doing items to show, adjust the logic. Okay, that makes sense. I'm okay with that. Okay, makes sense. I'm good with that. Give me a minute to catch up. Okay. So I'm going to come back here to our pend. And let's see. Okay, so we did the this week. We have that. That's showing this week. And nothing is beyond this week, so that's good. Close. Okay. Take your time. Here's the exact step-by-step to finish today. All right, so we will do some quick screenshots. We'll do the this week view. Call it up now. Here's our this week. All right, now I do have to scroll back up to remove that pen, which kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. Oh, he's thinking, so I don't think I can. Sure. Okay. Oh, so I could kill the pen that way. There's one thing about TypingMind, it does make sure you don't do anything stupid too quick. So sometimes when it doesn't do it, and you're like, I just told you to do that, do it again, and that little sure will pop up. So it does require a double click sometimes, which is not a bad thing. Okay, so back here to the bottom. You're close. Let's lock this week precisely, step by step. Pick one of these patterns. Option A, calendar week. What your UI supports directly, where due date, start date is relative to today, this week, and status is not done. A rolling next 7 days, which I think that's actually better. So I don't disagree with his suggestion here. So let's come back here to these rules. So due date, start date is on or before 1 week from now. Okay. I think the rolling 7 is better than the way we had it set up before. And status is not done. Okay, perfect. Yes, I have switched to option B. Okay, what's next? Okay, forget my thing here. Okay, what's next? Okay, the assistant's thinking. While he's doing that, just let's review where we're at. At this point, we have a projects database, and that's linked to include tasks. We have different views. We've got a board by status. We have an in progress table, and we have our tasks where we have show everything, a board status today and this week. And I don't know that we didn't really clean up our board by status here. We could do that later though. All right, let me change this. This is continue blocking. Yes, okay. Don't know what's happening there, but I don't need to know about it every single time. Okay, so the next is, let's pull this out. All right, the next is the ideas database. Okay, we're going to download that. Take a look at this real quick. Bring our PRD back over. And let's see. All right, so ideas, the fields were name, tag, impact, effort, and next step. Okay, that looks good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have all the options there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the options are here. So that will autofill. That's great. I'll be curious to see what order this fills in. It probably will not fill in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight down. We can fix that, but I'm gonna do one experiment here though. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to see which one actually falls in line. And it could be that I need to put the 5 up here and go the other way, but we'll know. That'll be part of our test. Okay, so that all looks good. We're going to do 2 views, and next step is text, and name is title. And then we have learning, tooling, app idea, career. So perfect. All right, so this CSV is good to go. Don't need to save it. Oh, I did need to save it because I made the change. All right, never mind. So we won't actually do that part. So we do that. Okay, I'm gonna move PRD out of the way. I come here, and we're gonna do our import again. Import CSV. Okay, choose the file. It's gonna be the ideas file. We're gonna map it, and the map was, okay, so he ran the map for us, so that's good. So name is title, tag is select. Okay, made those options for us. Impact is going to be a select. Made those options for us. Number or effort is going to be a select as well. Made those for us. And then name is going to be next up is text. Okay, got it. All right, so we're going to import that CSV. So that gave us another database. We're on a roll. Okay, so now I do want to test this and see what order did I get stuff in. Okay, all different order. So if I want to fix this and get the right order, I just slide them around. It's pretty easy. Now, it would have been nice to have imported them differently where that wasn't the case, but that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that wasn't too far off. Okay. Minor fix. And ultimately, when we go through and we're using this, we'll probably need to adjust some of those orders anyway. But for now, that's good enough. All right, so back to his instructions. So we've got the database in. Okay, we're going to do a quick scan table. So another view. And that's going to be a table. We're going to call it quick scan. Okay, done. Okay, we're going to then do a sort by impact descending and effort ascending. So we can add a second sort here, effort ascending. Okay. So we want the highest impact with the lowest effort. That's what we're going up for after there. Impact ensure orders 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With that all set, descending shows 5 to 1. Okay, so great. Okay. Show properties. Okay, so we're going to come up here. Property visibility. We'll hide them all initially. And then we're going to say we want name, we want impact, we want effort, we want tag, and next step, hide others if any. Okay. All right. So we're good there. And we can make this a little smaller just because there's, this is sometimes hard to grab, but we'll get to see more. And of course, we'll be in full screen later on. So right now we're losing a lot of space because I have the sidebar open and I've made this whole thing only 2/3. But so far it's adjusting pretty well, I think. All right, so we're good there. So that's our quick scan. We want another one called someday. And that's going to be, okay, so I think we can duplicate this then to make the someday. Someday. So these are going to be our highest, lowest impact, highest effort, ultimately. Filter impact is 1 or 2, and effort is 4 and 5. Okay, so we'll filter effort as 4 or 5. I'll see. I should be able to just do, add a filter. Impact is going to be a 1 or a 2. Okay. Now I could have made that probably an advanced filter, but that's fine. This works. So I have impact is 1 or 2, and effort's 4 or 5. Okay, so this is a high impact, high effort. Is that what we wanted? We wanted advanced filter, add a filter, filter role. Impact is 1 or 2. Okay. So now I've got the 2 roles, and then I can just delete this one. Delete that one. Okay. All right. So same result, a high impact, but high effort. So that's a someday. Quick scan. This is putting them in order so we can see that that app idea was the very last of our options. And okay, someday optional spot check. All 4 tag options appear in dropdown. Impact options 1 through 5 exist. Okay, so I think we're good. Let's show him our work here just to make sure that that all makes sense. Here's, and I'm going to go ahead and send him both of these because he should be able to look at both of them. And our someday. Okay. Put in the first one. Grab the second one. Check me. Okay. He's thinking. Okay. Step-by-step review, quick scan view. Property types looks right. Sorting visually correct. Okay, good. Someday view, filter intent, impact 1 or 2, and efforts 4 or 5. Your result shows 1 item, impact which matches. Naming knit, PRD says someday as 1 word. Okay, we can fix that because someday is a word. Okay, and he did identify that was a knit. He's not incorrect. Okay, if you wanted me to double check the actual filter settings, no, we're good. Okay, so yes, we are ready for the next one. We've got our projects, our tasks, our ideas. These are all databases. And notice ideas did not link into anything. Waiting. Okay, so here's our HTML again. I'm just gonna pop it out because we know that seems to work better. Okay, this is our prompts. Download that. We'll take a look at it. Let me open these up. Okay, let's take a look at our PRD. All right, our prompts library fields: name, tool, use case, prompt text, variables, tags, rating, optional, result, link, which will be a URL, and notes text. Okay, so we got all that. That's good. And so we're ready to import that. Okay, don't save. Close that out. Okay, so step one is going to be to import. Import CSV. We're going to choose our file. This will be our prompts. And we're going to map. Okay. So, don't know why it came out table view, but that's, yeah, okay. I guess that's right. These are just longer. So, rename the page prompts. That already happened. Good enough. So tool is a select. Okay. Load those in for us. Prompt is text. Use case is select. Missed that one. Okay, so tool, use case, prompt is text. Variables is text. And in case you haven't picked up on this, you can see what type they are by the little icons up here. So this is a title, that's a select, that's text, that's text. Variables, so tags is going to be a multi-select, and that's a different icon. So you see that's like a bulleted list kind of thing, or a toggle list. Okay, so, and we get multiples there instead of just one. Rating is going to be a select, not a number. Result is going to be a URL, which is a thing. Okay, URL, so it's going to expect a URL there. Notes is going to be text. All right, so now we are ready to import that. Let's open that up. All right, so we've got name, the tool, the use case, prompt text, variables, tags, rating, a URL, and notes. Awesome. Okay, so we did that. In rating, property settings, set option order. So you can do that two ways. You can come up here and you can edit the property in the options here. All right, we want 5 at the top, but we don't have a 1. So we want to add an option here for a 1. And that was unfortunate that I missed that 1. Okay. And then we're going to drag the 1 down here to be first. Okay. All right. So we should have put a 1 into one of those before we uploaded. But anyway, that's how you quickly just fix something like that. Just come in here to the properties and just click add 1 and then put it in where you need it. Okay, perfect. So we got that. Okay, good. And we want to fix that now before we try to start building views. So now we're going to build another view. There's going to be a favorites view as a table. Favorites. Okay. And we're going to filter it on a rating. I'm going to make that a 4 or a 5. Okay. Sort rating descending. Rating descending. Okay, so that put our 4 before our 5. If last edited time isn't available, add a property, last edited time. Okay. So that is a good idea. If we click here, We want last edited time, but we're going to hide that by clicking that. So that is now hidden. Yes. Show in table, hidden in table. Okay. Show properties. Oops. Guess we're going to do more. Show properties. Hide all. So we want prompt text, use case, rating, and hide everything else. So we made this pretty small. So let's see. All right, and we can't hide the name. Name is one you can't get rid of. Okay. But we need to know kind of what the idea was, right? That makes sense. Okay. Bug triage, concise repro, next actions. All right. Rating is descending, then last time edited descending. Okay. So we are going to add here, last time edited, descending. Okay. So even though we can't see it, we're still going to sort on it. Show properties, prompt text, use, hide others. So prompt text, use case, and rating. Okay, quick checks. So that's the only view we're doing there, right? 4 or 5, yes, okay. Okay, quick checks, at least 2 rows appear, 4 and 5, done. All right. So now we have all of our databases. We struggled way less this time. Awesome. Next up, pick one. We want to generate the optional learning log, CSV, or build the inbox page. I want to build the inbox page. Box page. All right. So great. Create a page. So I can come up here and create a new page. But if I do that, it's going to put it out here. I can create a new page here. But if I click that, that'll add a page inside. And we'll call this page inbox. Oops. Inbox. Add an icon tray. We're not so worried about the icon. Right click the page in the sidebar, add to favorites, handy. Okay, so we're add to favorites. Okay. I don't know that that exists anymore, but actually what's here is not the share, but the star. So if you click, so that added it to my favorites, which means that it's now up here in my favorites, which is, it's up here in my favorites, which is a good place for it to be. Okay, and the page is here. Name it optional, right click. All right, we did that. Step 2, add the call out at the top on the page, type call out. So we go / call out, and we're going to drop anything here, sort later, period. Okay, so this is not an inbox like your email inbox. This is a brainstorm. I just had a flash, but I need to write it down immediately before I forget it. That's the inbox. Okay, on the page, okay, we did that. And drop everything, sort later. Add 3 toggle heading sections. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, go H3. Now there's a couple of ways you can do the toggles. You can just scroll. If you do the /, then you get all the options. We're going to want this to be a toggle, but we want it to be an H3 toggle, which is going to be down here. So toggle heading H3. You can do it as a keyboard shortcut by doing 3 hashtags and a right. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, and a right. And a right. / 1, 2, 3. Okay. I want toggle heading. All right. Let's select there. All right. So that's a toggle heading. And we're going to call, name the toggle brain dumps. And we're going to put another one here, H3, toggle heading, a links. And just to make sure, so that's /H3, use your down arrow and then hit return. That turns it into the H3. And then snippets. And then return there to lock that in. So now we have 3, and what this does is it lets you open or close. So when these lists get really long, you can manage what's on the screen a little bit. Okay, paste the seed content messy on purpose. Expand each toggle and paste the lines below. Okay, so this is coming out of the PRD. So I'm just going to copy it right in. Okay, links. I'm going to copy that. And notice I copied links, and those links are hyperlinked, which is perfect. And snippets. All right, perfect. So now we got some data in there, and I can close these up so it's not an unmanageable list. I can look at links if I want to just look at links. I can look at snippets. I can look at links and snippets. But you see toggle lists are or toggle headings are very, very useful. Quick tidy, hover each toggle, change the color. We're not going to worry about that for right now. Verification, you have a call out, 3 H3 toggles populated. At least 2 to 3 messy items exist across each toggle, which that's definitely messy. Tip for later, turn a bullet into a task, copy the line, go to the task database, and paste it into the name column. So let's just play with that. So if I come here to the little 6 hamburgers and click that, I can turn this into a task. So to turn a bullet into a task, copy the line. So we would just copy this. Okay, if I do Control A, that highlights everything. Do Control C, and then I can go to my tasks database, and I can do a to do, and then just drop it in. Okay. And let's see did that show up in my name column? It did. So I could have come right here to show all. I did it by the board status. And real quick, let's do this. Let's change our board status. These were going to be, I forget how we did them on the other one. Let's see. Tasks, projects, board by status. So not started, in progress, on hold. All right, let me go back to the PRD then. So we had to do first, then doing, waiting, done. Okay, so now that's a more logical order. And we could hide the no status, although I like to see things that have no status, which you'll also see here when you look to see status. So yes, this one row has no status on it. So that's why you see something here. All right, so we took that off of our inbox, but I didn't take it out. So I'm actually gonna take it out of here. Where did I put it? I put it in the projects. I put it in tasks or projects? Tasks. Oh, right, and it was the to-do, and I'm going to just delete it here. Delete. Okay, so that made it go away, and show all, it went away as well. Okay, so back to Homebase. We'll give that, okay. So we got our 4 databases and a page, and then this page is coming up. I'm relatively certain. Verification, okay, we got that. All right, so we can say we're done here. Moving right along. Okay, great. Let's build Homebase step by step. So by Homebase, that means this front page. Okay, so do a new page and call it Homebase. All right, so we're gonna call that page. Call that Homebase. Okay. I'm gonna bring that to the top. All right, we're gonna turn it into full width, which I can do here. in property, let's see, full width. All right. Add 5 H2 headings in this order. All right, so this is going to be H2, and these are not going to be toggle headings. These are just H2 headings. Today, H2, this week, H2, active projects, and H2, prompt, spotlight. Okay, and I'm gonna now go back. Actually, I'm gonna take this full page off, full width off, so you can see kind of the mess that it makes. And then I sort of gave away the secret to cleaning up the mess. But let's see what the mess is first, and you will appreciate that little full width toggle. Okay, so done. All right, so step 2, linked view of tasks. Under the today heading, type linked view of database. Okay, so we're going to have to do a return here. Linked view of database. And we're going to pick the tasks database. Okay, and notice I have tasks in my V0 and I have tasks in my 82425. That's why I named it like that, because I wanted to make sure we were picking the right one. So we are picking the right one here. And so we're picking tasks. Okay, so that's today. Pick tasks in the view drop down, top left of the block, choose the saved view today. Okay, and we want to view today. Perfect. So we didn't get the whole big old mess. We got just today. Okay. Status is okay. So that's great. Sort descending. All right. So that's all the things we set up before because we picked that view. All right. Under active projects. Oh, do we need to do it this week? Yes. Okay. Under this week, we are going to do linked view of database. And that's going to be add another view, link switched to save view. Okay, this is tasks again. And we want the this week. Okay, so we have a small list. We have a big list, a bigger list. Yep, okay, well that's good because we built all these views already. So under active projects, linked, LINKED, got to spell right. All right, so this is our active projects. This is going to do projects, and we want the in progress view. Okay, perfect. So we're doing it, yep, all right, we built that view already. In inbox, we are going to add a callout box, so / callout. Okay. With a block called drop. Anything here, sort later. Okay, and the line below that. Oops, nope, there. All right, so sometimes the blocks are a little hard to deal with, but there we go. Okay, so we couldn't get the block to be below, so we forced it. In the line below, type @inbox. Select your inbox page so it shows as a page link. Okay, we want this inbox. So that's a link. So we just click that link, it'll take us right there. And then last is going to be another linked view of the database, and this will be the prompts. And we want the favorites view. Okay, perfect. Quick pre-flight check, tell me the results. Today shows at least one row. Excludes the doing tasks, which we hid, so we'll say yes. This week shows only the next 7 days, not done. which we hid, so we'll say yes. Active project shows your in-progress projects. That is correct. And prompt spotlight shows your 4 and 5 rated prompts, which it does. Okay. So the issue with this, let me make this full page. Because we have not made the width full page, so you can see I've got, like, I can have stuff sorted all over the place here. And it's better because we knocked down some of the columns, but this becomes very disorienting. So if I come up here to properties and I make this full width, then everything is now at least left justified. And yes, I still have the scrolls, but it's just much easier to deal with. If I have everything set to scroll left, great. These views that we built are pretty thin and narrow, so they actually fit on the full width page. And if I had something that was bigger, then I could still scroll it, but I don't here. So this is exactly how I wanted it to see it. Okay, come back here. I'm going to make this into our 2/3. All right, and even when I do the 2/3 screen with the sidebar showing, it's just much nicer to look at. So, okay, all looks good. All right, I thought that was going to be a thing, but it's not. So, Homebase is where we want to live. Okay, so we've done most of those checks. That's fine. Small, but my open projects, open tasks count. Okay, we could do that if we wanted to. Don't really want to. Do label. Next build choice. Pick what you want to do next. Quick add templates. Homebase extra. Okay. Is there anything else from the PRD that we have not covered? I do not believe there will be. And since this is really my kind of home page, I'm going to want to favorite this as well. That way it's here. Short answer, we cover almost everything except for minor fixes, tasks, relations, property name. Okay. Not so worried about hitting those exactly. Prompt, sort, tiebreaker. Projects in progress view, confirm save exists with the filter, yes. Okay, so I'm calling this done at this point. Now we can sign off here. Great, I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for the help. We don't actually need to do that. If we just closed him out, he would be fine. But it's nice to be nice to the computer that might run you one day. All right, so that's a summary of what we built. Okay, and these tidy ups I'm not so worried about because we're going to add, subtract to this over time. You're going to add and subtract to it differently than I will. So at this point, now we all have one thing we're all kind of working off of, which is great. And we did build it. We've actually built it now twice, with the use of AI as our assistant. And this was pretty low risk in terms of when we get to coding, it can be much higher risk because at this point, we're working in Notion, which is pretty safe. We're in our private side. We're not in the public side. Nobody can see this. We're not risking exposing our password database or anything like that. So, but this is a good way to start building the muscle, seeing how we work. Yes, on this instance, we gave it the whole PRD and said, this is the whole place we want to go. In this case, I had a PRD built because I'd done this project several times as I was kind of mapping out the videos. You won't necessarily always have a PRD that's 5,500 characters, 96 lines. You want to start off with something reasonably documented so you at least have an idea where you're going. And like I said, I'll drop this down in the descriptions below. Let me know if you want the CSVs. I think you should build your own CSVs and really work through it. You should get the same, because we're working off the PRD, you should get to the same result. And if you don't, then I think you'll have enough Notion experience at this point to start figuring out where I went wrong. And if you have something that's totally messed up, just drop a note in the comment section. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to close this portion out so we can see, I want to see Notion full screen. So I do want to show, so this is clean. This is nice. It's doing all the things that we wanted to do. If I look back at my V0, it's a little less clean. It's a little bit, it's sort of the same idea, but not quite as clean. But this was also the first one. And then V1, which is the one that we built over the 2 hours, it did get to the same place ultimately, although inbox is a table. That's weird. That's not right. And we have a lot more extraneous stuff. So 3 tries. I think this is the better one. So we're going to keep this. And yeah, we're going to call that done. So at this point, you should be very comfortable with TypingMind. We've dropped in some extra tips and tricks along the way for using TypingMind, like penning and things like that. You should be very comfortable at this point with Notion, where things are, how to get things done, how to do some shortcuts. And we will have a couple other Notion videos, I believe, coming up, although I do have to check the schedule. But this will be we will be using this as videos go on. We will absolutely be using this. This is kind of junk data for right now, but we will I'll make a video on how to actually use this so you can see like how do we move from point A to point B. But you absolutely can just drop rows in here directly without going to the tables. You can go to the tables. The other thing I would do here maybe is you can put a divider. You can put a divider in here and maybe make this an H3 and call it databases and just drag the databases down. So they're all kind of grouped and clear as to what's happening. The inbox page, I'm okay if it just kind of hangs out. But if we wanted to really get nice, we'll do another divider and we'll do an H3 and we'll call that pages. And there we go. Okay, we can take that row out there. Okay. So now this really does look nice. So this is our home base from the sidebar. And we have this as a favorite, and we have the inbox as a favorite because inbox is where you want to go. You want to go get messy. So we want that to be very, very quick to access. And then we want home base overall to be able to access because this is where you're checking back to say, okay, what am I supposed to be doing today? What's this week look like? What am I actively working on? If I want to get it back to my inbox, once again, you always want that kind of trigger at a quick click. And then my prompts. So this is just prompts so you're working on over time, trying to noodle them, make them better, don't make them worse. And we do have all of the potential steps here too. So learn, debug, plan, brainstorm, write. And we should order that too, but that'll be for another day. So I'm going to delete that row. Okay, and we're going to call it a day right there because I'm much more happy with our status. I was not happy after the 2 hours where we got to this kind of mess. And this would actually be pretty easy to clean up. We didn't do terrible, but still I'm liking this much better. Yep. So, okay, great. And then another thing, if you want to actually go into the database, just click there. And that sideways arrow is an indication that that's linked back to the database. So if I want to go right to tasks and see all, or I want to see the board view, I can do that. All right. So yeah, let's call it there. Perfect.